Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to sew an inner pocket with a double flap. So this can be put on the back of a trouser or on front of a shirt, anyhow you like it, and we're not going to be using any brown paper. It's straight on the material. Please don't mind dirt on the material. I promise you it's just the effect of an iron stain. First off, you're going to cut out a piece of fabric measured 18 inches by 4 inches, and you're going to gum one side with either cloth gum or a gum stay. As you can see, I've already gummed one side. All I have to do is trim off that 1 inch. Once that's done, you keep that aside. Next, we're going to take off the fabric. In this case, I'm going to be using the back of a trouser. I've already fixed my darts, so just for visibility, I'm going to turn it over to the back, and you're going to go up by 1 inch at the end of the darts. Next, you're going to cut up on a cloth gum 8 inches by 4 inches as well, and to get the middle, we're going to fold it into 4, and in the middle, you're going to place it on that 1 inch that was marked on the darts. So this is the front of the material. I've gummed that cloth gum to the back of the material. I'm going to turn it so that you can see I folded it into 4 and placed the middle at that 1 inch up. We're going to put that aside, and next we're going to take up pocket, the pocket itself, the inside pocket, and we're going to measure 20 inches by 8 inches. I'm just going to fold it so that it can enter into the camera for visibility, and I'm folding it. It's going to be 10 inches by 8 inches.
I got lost at night under the stars up in the sky. Directions hard to find under the stars up in the sky. I got lost at night under the stars up in the sky. Directions hard to find under the stars up in the sky. I don't know where to take this, I don't wanna break this. We're living in the moment, we're living in the moment. Your head is on my shoulder, but never getting old.
We've cut that out now, so the full length of it is 20 inches by 8 inches. Now we're done with that. I'm going to put that aside. Next, we're going to bring back our trouser that has the darts and the cloth gum on it, and we're going to turn it over to the back side, and we're going to bring back that pocket, and we're just going to run on the both sides of it, exactly where the cloth gum is on the trouser. That's where we're going to place the pockets, and we're just going to run both sides. We're not stitching it down because eventually we are going to loosen it. So this is the stitch that we've run on both sides. Now that it's done, we keep it aside. Now we're going to bring back that first piece of cloth that we cut out, the one that we put gum stay on, and we're going to fold it into 4 because we want to get the middle of it. Next, we're going to mark off ½ an inch from the top of that material to the end, and we're going to iron the folded part that has the gum stay. We're going to fold it inside, and after that ½ an inch has been ironed and folded in, we're going to fold it completely to the end of the material and then fold it again into 4. Make sure all of this is being ironed. Now it has been ironed. You can see that it has lines that gives us a direct point as to where the middle is, and now we're just going to fold that back in, and we're going to cut off that excess cloth gum. It's not really a big deal, but we're going to cut a little, just notch that middle just to show us the direct point where the middle is.
Baby, it's you and
Next, we're going to bring back our trouser, and we're going to turn it to the front. Let's not forget that 1 inch that we marked up from the end of the dart. We're going to bring back our iron material, and I'll suggest that you use pins here, and we're going to place that middle point on that 1 inch of the trouser. Folded ½ inch of that small piece of fabric is going to be upwards, while the other edge is going to be downwards. Now that's done, we're going to take our measuring tape, and from that middle we're going to mark 2.75 inches from the middle on both sides. The full length of the pocket is 5.5 inches, so 2.75 plus 2.75 is 5.5. Now from that middle line, we're going to take our measuring tape and we're going to mark half of an inch on that line, not half inch up and half inch down, half of an inch upwards and half of an inch downwards. I'm going to zoom it in so that you can see what I mean. Please ignore those blue lines. I initially made a mistake and focus on the sewed lines, the yellow lines. That is how small the stitch is meant to be. Taking our measuring tape, you can see that the full length of that stitch is 5.5 inches. And just for accuracy, we're going to take our measuring tape as well and also measure the space between the two stitches and make sure that it is exactly half of an inch before we proceed. Next, taking our scissors, we're going to fold up our fabric and just create an opening on the trouser material itself through that notched middle. Don't forget, everything we're doing is currently on the front part of the trouser. Next, taking our measuring tape, we're going to mark 1 inch before the end of that stitch because we're going to create like a triangle with our cotton. Now you can remove the pins from the material. Now taking our scissors, remember that ironed line that we have, we're going to cut it straight and we're going to stop at that 1 inch before the end of the stitch that we just marked. If you're confused, just keep watching and you understand what I'm doing. So at that 1 inch mark, I just took my chalk and I drew a triangle towards the end of those two stitches. We do this so that when we cut off the material can rest and stay well. Now you're going to put your scissors in through that middle hole and we're going to cut both the small fabric and our trouser itself. Now you have to be very careful and keep your hand steady. You have to do this slowly. We're not cutting up that stitch, we're just cutting up very close to the stitch. So this is what we have as our end result. Next we're going to do the second side.
It's you and
This is what your material should be looking like right now. So next thing, we are going to turn over that small piece of fabric to the other side, to the back side of the trouser. Take your fabric to an ironing table because you're going to be ironing at this point. This part is another tricky part and another very crucial part because this part determines how your back pocket is really going to look like. You have to really take your time to arrange the pockets well and make sure that the two foldings are equal to each other. You're going to have to arrange, flip it over, look at it, flip it over again to make sure that everything is staying well. Now I'm going to iron it so that it can stay in one place. Everything has been ironed and as you can see, it's all staying in one place. Please don't mind the iron stain. Every other thing from here on out is just to close it up and finish it. The hard part is over. I'm going to turn the back and this is what the back looks like. Like I said, it is just an iron stain. See, just support my channel so that we'll not be talking about this iron stain. But as you can see, everything is flat and laid down. Now remember the triangle shape that we formed earlier. Now that we've turned it over, it's at the back. So I'm going to run a stitch on that triangle on the separate material, not on the trouser material. So this is what it looks like now. It has been stitched on the pocket fabric, not on the trouser material. Next, we're going to loosen the running stitch on the pocket that we made earlier. It's time to close up the pocket. Now that has been loosened, we're going to take the full length of that pocket and we're going to fold it up where the waist of the trouser is, and we're going to notch that folded part to give us where the middle of the pocket is. You do this on both sides, and next we're going to turn that folded pocket over to the other side. Have this in mind that we are trying to sew up the edges. Next, we're going to fold this part in and sew it to the pocket fabric. Like I said, we're just covering up every rough edges. So now that we have this notched middle, we know where it's going to be folded in. Now, if this fabric wasn't the same as the material, what we would have done is we'll take a strip, at least this thing 4 inches, 8 inches length, and we would sew this part inner as well. I'm going to do that for our second video of how to sew a one flap. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comment section. And we're just going to sew here and just fold it in so that when someone opens up here, they're not seeing a different fabric. But the reason why we're not doing that is because this material is the same as this material. I'm going to sew here up. Now it has been sewed up, so I'm going to turn it over so that you can see what I meant. This is what the back of the trouser should be looking like right now. Don't forget to iron it so that everything is looking flat and neat. If you're not going to be weaving the inside of the pockets, you can add an extra stitch just to completely hide those edges. Lastly, we're going to be closing up the top of the pocket. Like I said, we're not going to be sewing on the trouser material, we're sewing on the pockets. We're closing up that top so that when someone puts their hand inside, they don't have to be mistakenly bringing out the material. So all we're going to do is just close up that top. This is what the top of the pocket should be looking like. I use color threads so that you can easily see it. And as you can see, I didn't sew on the trouser, I sewed on the pockets inside. As you can see, that top has been closed up and your pocket, your inside pocket is ready. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. If you have other questions, make sure to drop it in the comment section. Don't forget, it's not about how fast you sew, it's about how neat you sew. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.